Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Claudine.
Today we're talking about amending voluntary disclosures. Let me set the stage, and then I'm just going to give you the floor today.
Okay.
So we've had some people come to us a lot more recently than before, and they've had a professional submit a disclosure for them. And then there's either issues or they think there's issues, and they come to us and they want a second opinion. And we're looking at these disclosures that are being done, and they're not very good. And I'll let you take it from there.
That is, and this is something that I would say every disclosure that we have reviewed, that someone else has submitted, there's been an error.
Yesterday's. I mean, this thick, all this paper. How long did it take you to find the error?
It took me 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and I found a huge, significant error that is sickening. Because here's somebody who went to realize they had a problem, goes to find someone to fix the problem. That person didn't fix the problem, and they posed like they could. And it's really, really bugging me because, this is a situation where you're better off not submitting anything because the IRS would never know about these things. It's only your disclosure is what's alerting them to what your issue is. Now, you could do an armchair audit of that. I don't even need to see anything else. And as we've talked about with the International Practice Unit audits, what they're looking to do, how they're looking to hammer people on simple technicalities that don't require much effort. This is it. This is exactly it, what you don't want to do.
Do you think that other professionals are hopping on the disclosure bandwagon now that it's more?
Absolutely. Boy, have a lot of people come out of the woodwork. All these disclosure experts have come out of the woodwork. The only thing is I didn't see these guys back in 2009. None of these people I've seen back were doing the original ones when it was more of a criminal aspect. The original 2009 was a criminal aspect, so it really wasn't for every tax attorney. I have a bit of a criminal background. Well, criminal law practice. Well, maybe both.
Thanks.
So there wasn't a lot of people doing it. And this is sort of how I think where my frustration comes from, because a lot of these firms don't know they're doing something terribly wrong, okay? Because they're thinking the normal rules apply, okay? So this is what I want to assume about them. I don't want to assume they're exploiting people. I want to assume they're trying to do the right thing, but they can't do the right thing. And the reason why is because the way that we found out all of the issues and how to do things correctly is because our stuff was under audit. In that first 2009 disclosure, everything was audited.
Wow.
Every tax treatment you took, everything was audited. And, we really learned a lot. To be honest, we really learned a lot. Those IRS auditors, examiners that we dealt with, at this point, they were the highest. They were very, very competent, well-spoken people, very reasonable. Where we thought we had a disagreement about something, they would look into it, and they would come back to say, no, this is why we want to treat it this way. And we worked in some of the policies that they had changed, the IRS changed because they had these cases they couldn't quite resolve. We were a part of, because the auditors said, yeah, that's a problem. We really won't be able to resolve this unless we change our policy. So we were part of that. And so all this sort of pool of knowledge that we developed all these years from getting stuff audited, seeing where they're looking at, we've imported that into our current practice today. That every client now that we have now gets the benefit of our clients years ago. That's kind of why you hire an experienced law firm.
I have heard you say, and I like it, that every submission we send into the IRS, we assume will be audited. That's how
right.
we look at it.
Right.
They're not all audited anymore.
No, they're not.
But we assume every single one we're going to do will be audited.
That's right. And that's the standard that we build it to, because you have to. Because it doesn't make sense to submit one if you don't. Because, again, you have to. When it comes to international compliance, there's a totally different rule book. There's a totally different rule book that applies. It's not like your domestic stuff. You make a mistake, hey, we're all buddies, don't worry about it. That international trigger, the auditors now are trained to dehumanize and just treat the taxpayer as a target who really won't mind. I actually think that these examiners don't think that. I don't think this taxpayer is going to mind paying a $200,000 penalty, because they want to be in compliance. They want to do the right thing. And the guidelines clearly show we can do this. So I don't see how this is really, it's not a big deal to them. As a taxpayer, your heart is ripped out. You're like, this is terrible. This is absolutely horrible. This is my retirement account, for crying out loud. And you're taking it away because I didn't fill this stupid form out?
So in the case of, say, yesterday's, first tax professional did it incorrectly.
Yep.
Second tax professional did it incorrectly.
Yes.
Now, if we get it in our hands, we're asking, can we amend this?
Yes.
And the answer is yes.
Yes. So I'm glad the IRS came up with this, because this is, and I said this for years, is that there's going to have to be a voluntary disclosure program for voluntary disclosures because they're done so poorly.
Yes. I think I read that you cannot do it if you're currently under audit.
Right, because the exam is where you'll go through a lot of the adjustments there. And under audit is really where you don't want to be having to make these changes, because when you're under audit and you made mistakes on your submission, well, did you make mistakes on your state of mind too when you're writing this certification? You're undermining your case. You want to come in with the highest level of credibility. And you don't have that when you have submissions that are missing things. And when this is what really, really bugs me, is when you put your non-willful certification in for your streamlined submission, taxpayer is fully aware of all tax laws and obligations now. And there it is, the submission's like, well, you missed something. So what's the reason there? Well, there only could be one reason. You meant to do it. You intentionally avoided this because you just said you were fully aware of everything. And here's a huge error.
Wow.
So do you see how that's much worse than not submitting anything at all? Not anything at all. You get audited. Oh, I didn't know.
Right.
No, at no point did you say, I swear, I'm specifically aware of my Form 8938 obligations, my FBAR obligations, and my entire universal tax jurisdiction of the United States. And I think what I don't want to do, because I think what we're doing is we try to educate a lot of taxpayers on sort of the ins and outs of everything. And at this point, from what we're seeing, I think that a lot of tax professionals go to our website, see the information, oh man, these guys are really good. They really know what they're talking about. But you can't learn it from a website. You only can learn it by handling the most complicated things in a one-on-one audit situation. So all of these people who've popped up out of the woodwork, first of all, streamlined submissions really haven't been audited yet ever. They all get approved. So the only way you would know how these audits really go is if you've been in an international audit or you've handled an OVDP opt-out.
I wouldn't want my doctor to watch a YouTube video on how to do heart surgery if he had never done heart surgery.
I mean, right.
And then do heart surgery.
It's going to give him a clue.
Yeah.
Look up here.
Yep.
Right? Like operate here. But it's absolutely insane that what I would, and also, a sports analogy is if you're a football team and you would certainly want to have a practice before you play a game. You don't want to just run into the game. Well, going through and doing the audits is like the practice. How does everything work? Okay, this is how we know. Here's our game plan. This is going to withstand something. And then, then there's even the best thing to know how well you perform is actually to perform. Okay, guys, how did we do in the game? This is our strength. This is our weaknesses. What can we do better to win the next time? Here, you're just sort of going on. It's like, well, I watched some YouTube videos on some football strategies. So essentially, we have 11 players aside, and there's a guy who throws the ball. So you throw the ball. And that's what you're doing, and you're going in and you're expecting that's going to be fine. Now the thing is, a lot of times it is fine. Why? Because the other team doesn't show up. The IRS just takes it at its word. But the weakest team on the other side would say, well, you guys don't know what you're doing.
It'd be like if all of a sudden the New England Patriots showed up and you were like, oh man, we got to play them.
Yeah, just
we only
go.
practiced.
We only practiced. So, I mean, that's where, you could come here eventually after someone screws up royally and we could fix it, or you could come to us the first time and we'll just get it done right.
Yep. Then
there's no possible way that you could know all of the rules without having audit experience. There's absolutely no way. It's really, and here's to sort of demonstrate the impossibility of it, that, if we really stacked up all the relevant tax code instructions that go with the foreign tax returns, the treaties, everything that goes into it, it would really fill this room with paper, And so now, but the thing is not, most pages aren't relevant. As you're going through this, like, well, that's not relevant. Now the bulk of everything is not relevant to your case. You need those few things here, and here that's relevant, but you only know by reviewing everything, but you can't review everything.
And it's really not easy reading. It's not.
No.
it's,
No.
It's mind numbing, and you're like, oh no. Oh, I think that's important. Oh wait, what is? I don't even understand that. Wait, I have to reference another document to figure out what this document says. It's insanity.
Right. Even the simplified instruction forms, right? We've gone through so many of those.
Simplified.
Right? The simplified instructions, and the
This
jargon.
form will take you 53 hours to complete. Oh my God.
And there's so many errors that go on, and you're really playing with fire. You know, there's so many people new to the game who are just claiming that they're experts, and they're not. And just being able, having the tax software that could create an international return, that's not. It's not like H&R Block. It's not like input this, input this, input this. It's an art. Like this is, whoa! It is not at all like data entry.
No,
it's the opposite of data entry.
Our team amazes me every day.
Yeah.
I don't know where you found all these smart people, but just saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, if you need any assistance with a submission, don't hesitate to contact us. 888-727-8796. info@irsmedic.com. irsmedic.com does have a lot of great information. But yeah, don't hesitate to contact us. You can like and comment below and subscribe to our channel to stay on top of awesome tax updates. Thanks for watching.
I think I know why they came.
Why?
Because I'm awesome. Right? It had to be.
Yeah.
Very inspirational, very humble. Very, very humble.
Very.